Hello, this is Donna from Donna T Crafting, and I'm here today with Kendra's Card Challenge 22. We're going to be working on two of the sketches. We're going to work on sketch 8 and 9, and here I have the pieces that I cut for sketch 8 from some pattern paper and some solid paper. I also have my background piece. I have a piece of just copy paper. This was actually just a receipt that came with one of my packages, and I cut it down to the size that will be going on the solid. And I'm going to use this to glue to all my pieces to, just so that when they're lined up, I have it on this instead of my background piece. It's a little harder to line up on that background piece, I think. This just makes it a little easier for me. So I'm just going to glue these on this piece of copy paper. Just a reminder, Kendra's Card Challenge is a challenge to make 15 cards using six 6x6 pieces of pattern paper and some additional paper for backgrounds and sentiments and things like that. As you can see, I used this is a cactus themed set of pattern paper, and then I'm using the solids that match the colors in my cactus themed paper. You can see here I'm putting all these pieces down, and I'm going to have to cut out the edges. That's another reason that I use the copy paper, is because you doing that on your background paper, you wouldn't know where to cut the edges and everything. So this just makes it the easiest. You could use cardstock. I just find copy paper doesn't add any more bulk to my project, and I don't want it bulk if I'm going to be mailing it. So here I just cut the edges off after I've got everything glued down. Also, if you needed to redo something, cutting it on the copy paper, another reason to not add the bulk, you could then use another piece of copy paper on top of that. So once I have that sized up, I can then just glue that whole piece to my background piece. I'm using a very dark green for my background piece here, and I'm applying this with just some liquid glue. As you can see, I colored my big shape in the middle. Now on the sketch, it shows a big heart. I chose to use this ring of cactuses, or cacti, I guess you would call them. And I put that in the middle, and then I'm going to add my sentiment to the very middle. And I just stamped my sentiment, die cut it, and then I colored that sentiment with an alcohol marker, a green alcohol marker, to make it close to the colors of my project. And then I will add some cute little gems around the outside and in the middle of my project, just to give it a little bit of shininess and bling. So super simple with the sketch and being able to cut the pieces following the instructions. It became a very easy card to make. So that's sketch 8. For sketch 9, it's very similar to sketch 8. I am going to be using two background pieces of paper, so two background colored cardstock, and then again I have a piece of copy paper, again just another receipt that I cut down, and I'm going to put all my layer pieces cut from pattern paper on this. And this one, to me, was a little trickier, and I wanted to make sure that I had them all the right size. So I thought the copy paper was, again, very easy to do that, to make sure that they were the right size. I had kind of messed up the cutting of one of the layers here. I'll show you in a second. I think it's the layer after this one that I kind of messed up the cutting of it, which actually worked out fine. I thought I messed it up. I actually cut it one of them right and one of them wrong, and I had them opposite. This is the size I needed it cut. I thought I'd cut it too small, but actually I had to cut the other piece down to make it work out. So I had just read the instructions wrong in my haste to get my pieces cut. So just be sure to double check your measurements when you're cutting. I'm using the same types of pattern paper because, you know, I cut all my cards out of this pattern paper. And I am just laying these out on this copy paper. You can find all the instructions for this at www.kendrascardchallenge.com. And then once you make your 15 cards, you can enter them to win a lot of fabulous prizes. You take one picture of all the cards together, and then follow the instructions that are on the instructions for cutting this out or on Kendra's website. You can submit a set of cards, one per month, and there's also information on Kendra's website where you can join her Patreon membership, and there's lots of different levels. So be sure to check that out and see if that's something that interests you. There's a lot of different benefits for that, including some printable papers and different other little perks that she has with the different levels of the membership. I'm adding my last piece of paper to the copy on the copy paper here, and then I will trim down. I had a little bit of trimming to do that was hanging over, so that makes it real easy to trim these little pieces off and make this a very even and nice looking sketch to add to my colored cardstock. That's the one thing I really love about this card challenge that she has is once you cut all the different pieces of pattern paper, these cards do come together fairly quickly, and it's really nice to be able to have something that you can have to put together quickly. If you need a quick card for any occasion, you can quickly have it ready. If I cut some of these and just have them ready so that if I need to throw it together, they're right there, and it takes me, just a few minutes to get everything aligned and down on the paper. I stamped a sentiment on some white cardstock, cut that with a circle die and then a black circle die on top of that. And then I have a little bit of my extra pattern paper that I cut the shapes out of, and I'm just going to add some of those flowers to the top of that. And of course, once I have this lined up and in a good spot, then I am going to have to add some more little shiny bits on this. Just a few, not a lot, but I think it certainly adds something to the card. And there you have the second card for sketch 9. Again, comes together very easy. So check out Kendra's card challenge. This is card challenge 22. Hope you find it enjoyable and have a wonderful day. Happy crafting!